attended two sessions at the Web Summit about humanizing technology and how the human should interact with machines, and about what is today learning to us about tomorrow. From those two sessions, I took out a couple of points. First one is that the COVID crisis has been rushing all societies into having to use technology, use remote working, interact with friends, colleagues, and families in a totally different way. At the same time as use commerce in a totally different way, remote way. And COVID has been accelerating through a lot of tools that had to be implemented for the companies, for the individuals, a number of behaviors that before were lightly considered, maybe tested, but never used at large scale. And that has been creating some massive tests at full scale of what the digital world and the full technology-driven world would be about. A few preoccupations raised by the panelists around first, the fact that having a world where analytics are profiling you every day should not be a world that would mechanically command your behavior. Human reality and human control should remain the ultimate decision maker. Second one is that it is not because we are using tools that we are at the end point. We should adapt the way we work as well. The tools will not be sufficient. The third dimension that I heard about creativity. The machines can be creative, but they should be only like a paintbrush to a painter. They should not replace the artist. Now, this is all fine from a societal point of view and philosophical point of view. I think what we see from both the COVID acceleration at Bain in terms of the enterprise is that some decisions have been taken in 2 weeks where it would have required 18 months before. We've seen companies shifting drastically, working with totally technology-driven capabilities than before, and it has worked. We've seen people actually behaving and changing fundamental systemic behaviors of how they live, how they consume. But something we should remember and take out from that very special and dramatic situation is that where we were optimizing for just-in-time, lean, optimized OPEX and CAPEX, all companies should now consider the just-in-case, because we had one crisis with COVID, but there might be other disruption coming with cybersecurity crisis upcoming, with global warming creating situations, or potential geostrategic warfare that may come. And that just-in-case will increase the ability, the resilience of companies. The second implication is that automation and robotics is being widely used right now by companies, not totally deployed yet, but widely used to enable the resilience of the companies. And those automation and robotics will create massive implication for the employees in terms of reskilling, upskilling, and that should be anticipated way before we are at that stage, anticipated by companies, anticipated by societies, anticipated by the educational system. So we are probably at the cusp of a new environment for societies, for companies, that will take us into what the digital revolution is about, and where COVID would have been at least a massive trigger to force the testing.